Welcome back to another episode of Spread Detectives, a podcast where we break down sports ranging from the MLB, NBA, and the NFL, all the way to women's, Russian, table tennis. Sitting to my right here, we got Hank at MONEYLINE MARSH on TikTok. To my left, we got Drake at Double Down Drake. I'm your host, Nick. This week, we're going to dive into the divisional round at the NFL playoffs. But before we do that, we're going to kind of recap what happened last week. And we're going to start off with Marshall here, wearing the clown nose. You might say, why the hell is he wearing that? It's because he went 0-6 last week. You've got to be the worst sports gambler this side of the equator. Just horrendous. So let's see, what's your biggest takeaway from last week?
I mean, boys, we had the right picks. I mean, the Browns' number one defense coming into it. Obviously, didn't know that C.J. Stroud was going to come in with D'Amico Ryans and get that shit going. Big takeaway from my weekend is I need to start fading myself, and that's going to be the absolute complete way that we're going to be going this next week. I loved a lot of things this week and going into the divisional round, and we're going to be absolutely fading them. Obviously, I'm wearing the cloud nose right now because I went 0-6, but we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep riding. We're down about 20 and a half units. Absolutely smoked this past weekend on Super Wildcard Weekend. But hey, we got ammo ready to shoot off, and we're ready to fire it off. So we're coming back this weekend strong.
I know you had some shit you wanted to say to him about that weekend.
I mean, you ruined a lot of people's weekends. I will say that. Anyone who decided to ride with this guy, anyone who followed him on TikTok, I do apologize.
Yeah, me too. I know you had a couple people just by the third.
Yeah, it was funny. This one guy that I used to bartend at, he came. I went into the bar. They do these dollar beers, and he was like, "Brother, you lost me $500 on that Dolphins pick." And he was actually pissed off at me. Like, "Hey man, stay tuned. We're gonna be cooking some more heat coming up, so stay tuned."
I mean, to be fair, you're pretty convincing in your points before it happens.
Yeah.
But this weekend, there was never a shot in any game that you were a part of.
Never. So. I mean, just the wrong side of everyone.
Just every game, absolute blowout.
I was watching your predictions back, and I'm like, that sounds good, but man, it was just wrong. Yeah. It sounded so good and so convincing, and it was just completely incorrect.
Yeah, that was.
Hey, boys, we coming back this weekend, though. So let's dive into it.
Yeah, you want to? Well, what's your biggest takeaway from the week? As far as moving
from
forward.
last week, I will say I need to. He went 0-6. I sat in the 3-3 props 5-5 range. Nothing good happened over here. Nothing bad, but nothing good. Yeah. It's an absolute snooze fest from my side of town. So for that, I do apologize.
But that's way better than going 0-6.
In hindsight, I mean, he had a little more fun, but he lost a lot more money. The people around him had more fun. The people around me are just. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'd like to go above the 500 column this weekend. That's what we're shooting for. I'm shooting for a sweep right now. So,
yeah. I mean, by that fifth one, I really was like, he's got to hit this one. I mean, it's mathematically hard to lose 5-6 in a row.
Yeah, we threw down 5 units down on the Eagles -3. Not even a shot. Shout out Baker Mayfield though for coming through. 3 touchdowns, 333 yards. That'll partake in what we're talking about later. Stay tuned.
Well, I'd say that's my biggest takeaway from the weekend, honestly, is the Buccaneers. The defense, they got a shot, make a run. But anyway, let's jump into it. First game, we got Houston going into Baltimore. FanDuel's got the line right now at 9.5. Hank?
Let's go with me. Let's start with who has the hot seat right now.
I gotta know what not to take, so let's see what you got. What you taking in this game?
Well, boys, looking at this game, I completely faded C.J. Stroud last week, and I'm not going to do it this week. Going in, they're giving up 9.5 to a high-powered offense. D'Amico Ryans has that defense kind of playing right. There's no way that I cannot take the points with Houston, and I'm going to be buying up. I'm going to be taking +10 with the Houston Texans. I have a couple player props.
You're always buying shit, even though you're
hey, even though I'm buying, I'm buying extra to lose more. But I'm gonna be taking Houston +10. I'm gonna do a anytime touchdown with Nico Collins. I feel like him and CJ Stroud have really been connecting, and I feel like one of these other idiots are gonna be wearing this clown nose next week on the next week podcast because I'm gonna be cleaning the sweep. And so, but yeah, my ultimate pick is going to be the Houston +10. Traveling into Baltimore, I don't trust Lamar Jackson when it comes to playoffs. He's proven that. So, that's where we're going with that one.
Well, That was his ultimate pick, and I am ultimately fading. I got Ravens -9 is where I'm hoping I can get it at, but 9.5 will probably be what I have to take. I think we're going to see some regression from C.J. Stroud after last week, and then on top of that, I'm really sick. It's been all year long. They've been underplaying the Ravens. The Ravens are playing good on both sides of the ball. Potentially, you could talk about special teams too. Best kicker in the league. Like, I see a lot of trouble for C.J. Stroud. It hasn't happened yet, so I know I'm kind of just betting on air at this point. But
why would you say they're underplaying them if they've been favorites like all year?
I mean, they have to be favorites.
Well,
they're a great
against
football team.
against the Niners on Christmas.
I'm not even just talking about
6 underdogs.
I mean, obviously we're talking about lines and where we're betting things, but I'm just saying as a whole, aside from betting,
analysts and all
they
that
have
on
been
ESPN.
an undervalued football team when they've been near perfect all year. A few slip-ups, early loss. I think they're one of their – what do they have, 3 losses on the year?
Yeah.
3 losses on the year. 1 came in the first 2 weeks, so since then pretty flawless. I think Lamar has been an MVP caliber quarterback for quite some time, and last year was a rough spot for him. I think he gets it back this time around. So I'm going to stick with the Ravens -9. 9.5 is where I'll probably have to take that.
Yeah, probably. All right. So I got a little story about my pick here. So 2019, Lamar's MVP season, I worked with a guy who was a die-hard Ravens fan. And so from the beginning of the year, he was telling me to take them. He was telling me they're going to be good. I said, no, they're not. By about week 3, I started just taking them. Turns out they went insane. They went 14-2.
Yeah.
They were just blowing people out, including they blew out the Dolphins and they beat the 49ers that year. And I believe the 49ers went on to lose the Super Bowl to the Chiefs that year. I think that was that year. They were also very good with Jimmy G. So I took the Ravens almost every week for the last 13 weeks, won a bunch of money. At the end of the year, I bought this jersey. And I was like, hell yeah, thank you, Lamar, for making that money. And then they went into Tennessee. Tennessee came to them. They got the bye the first round. And they were 9-point favorites, 9.5, just like here. And they got the doors blown off of them by Tennessee. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, and there's so many similarities between the years. And I'm thinking, there's no way they do this again. But I decided, you know what? I fucking think that they will. And I decided I'm going to take the Texans plus 9.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that they're going to keep this thing close. I like Lamar. I do. I respect him. He's a great player. But
right after he throws his jersey on the ground.
It wasn't disrespect to Lamar in that sense. It was more just the Ravens organization, because I'll never forget the feeling when the Titans just blew them out of the water. Derrick Henry ran over them. And so I can't take them again. So I'm rocking Houston plus 9.5, 100%. Here.
We might be passing that clown nose to you next week, pal.
Hey, maybe. I mean, we got the same pick, so if we both lose, I think the honorary captain gets to keep it. We're wearing it this week. You don't get to pass it off if we tie.
I think there is no Derrick Henry on the Houston Texans.
That is true, but there is a C.J. Stroud who's balling out.
Yeah, I believe in C.J. Stroud after what he did to that number 1 Browns defense.
I think he's very humble, and I don't think that this win will move him left or right, how he's going to play next game. But I'm just expecting a little regression, and that's what I'm banking on here.
For sure. They had a great season, even if they get blown out. He had a winning season, 100%. So,
and I mean, aside from betting, I won't like losing that game, but I would love to see C.J. Stroud move forward. I think that's just going to be an amazing story if it does get to continue.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Cool. So for the next one, we got Green Bay going into San Fran. Once again, same spread. FanDuel's got it at 9.5, San Francisco. Drake, who are you rocking with this one?
Green Bay's taking it. I mean,
money line?
Get money line if you want it. If you really want to
take it, money line.
Was it like 250?
If you want to pay mortgage for the rest of the year, take money line.
Was it like plus 250?
I haven't really looked. No, it's probably a little north of that. I mean, they're at. I'm truthfully on plus 9.5 Green Bay. I mean, I will sprinkle a little bit on that money line just to make it a fun game, but I'll be sitting on Green Bay plus 9.5. I think they're evolving right in front of our eyes, and I'm going to bank on that. Jordan Love, he sat in the back, sat in the shadows for a few years, learned from some of the best, and I think he's finally catching stride, and he's going to hit the ground running once again in this game. That's where I'm sitting on that one.
For sure, yeah. Completely disagree. I think
thought you were about to hop in with me.
No, absolutely not. This Jordan Love show is absolutely over. I don't know if you guys follow me on TikTok, but I absolutely hammered the Cowboys -7. Yeah. Absolute frauds those guys are. I just want to point that out, that these guys are absolute jokes. Jerry Jones should sell the team after losing. They haven't been in the NFC Championship since I've been fucking born. But we're going to be going at, I'm going to be taking the Green Bay Packers to lose by at least 13.5. So I'm going to be taking the alternate spread, 13.5 49ers. I'm going to be paying some juice. I know I'm going to be paying a lot of money, and it's going to come through. The 49ers are that team in the NFC that I almost thought that they were a little fraudulent after the Christmas game against the Baltimore Ravens, but just with the way Brock Purdy played all year, he had one bad game. I mean, 3 of those interceptions were tip passes. I feel like they're finally gonna. I feel like that defense is finally gonna get exposed on Green Bay. They played great 3 games to close out the year. Especially talking about last week, the show that they put on in the first half against Dallas. But I think they're done. They had a great show. Jordan Love's gonna be a great quarterback. But I'm gonna be taking alternate spread, and I'm actually gonna pull out my hammer at Hank slap down. We're gonna be slapping that down. We're going to be taking the 49ers minus 13.5. Please hammer this one, guys. You get great money on the 13.5 alternate spread, either FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever you take it, whatever you can bet. Take the ultimate spread. This game's going to get ugly early. Jordan Love's going to be pressured by that stout 49ers defense, and we're going to be taking the alternate spread in this one.
Fuck.
So that's one.
Yeah.
You're just one more time. You're taking minus 13.5.
Yeah, I'm buying an extra couple points and making sure that I win by 2 touchdowns. On FanDuel and DraftKings, we got about a plus 160. So throw the house on it. It's going to be a blowout. 49ers fans are going to be rocking. Please take that.
Well, I'd say after hearing that, I've never been less confident in a pick, and I have San Francisco minus 9.5, and I'm seriously contemplating how I came to that decision after hearing you say that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, usually I don't like to watch games with you just because we're usually on the wrong side of things, and I hate doing that. But this one I can comfortably sit next to you and watch you lose your money.
It's hammered down this time, boys. I'm telling you. The 49ers are going to absolutely smoke them.
Can I just ask to clarify how many units?
I'm going to do 5.5 units on this one. That's going to be my most confident play, is going to be doing an alternate spread on the 49ers, beating the Packers by at least 2 touchdowns. And, hey, I'm wearing the clown nose for a reason, so you guys can take that as you will.
I mean, you've been 0-6, like, mathematically. You got to think he's going to win at least 3 of these.
I mean, it's a coin flip when you place a bet. So the fact that you've flipped the coin 7 times and got tails every single time, I mean,
and picked heads.
It's impressive. It's more impressive than that's what I'm saying. You would think that my week was better. I think his was a little more comical. Mine was pretty flatlined.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Word. Hey, we're gonna fucking see.
I'll tell you what, though, this week though, you can just keep that clown at your place. That nose, you can just hold on to that.
Yeah. We might need to buy the rest of the suit for next week.
Aisle 3, I'm telling you, if we go 0-4 this time, we're gonna get the full clown suit. I'm gonna paint my face, everything, but it's not happening. We're getting a lot of units back.
Paint the face.
Man, I hope not, because man, we got the same picks. All right, let's jump forward to the next one. We got Tampa Bay. I'm hot on Tampa Bay. Going into Detroit, getting 6.5 on FanDuel. Hank,
boys, do not overthink this one at all. It's going to be the Bucs money line, and let me tell you why.
Fuck, man, we're going to have a good week or a bad week.
The Bucs have been coming in. I mean, they've been getting disrespected this entire year. The NFC South has been getting joked on. Obviously, I'm an Atlanta fan. I was a Falcons fan going in. NFC South got clowned, played on. That's a tough football team down that they got there. They're coaching down there in Tampa Bay.
There you go.
I don't know if you know this, but Detroit plays indoors. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, you saw that. The reporter was asking
about the weather.
He's like,
the weather in Detroit.
Yeah, Todd Boyles was like, hey,
we'll be outside for like 20 seconds on the walk of the bus in.
What a moron.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's the SpongeBob meme. Hey, this guy stinks.
But yeah, we're gonna be hammering. We're gonna be putting 2.5 units down on the Tampa Bay money line. I never believed in the Detroit team this entire year. I love the story about it. I love that they got their first playoff win in 31 years. I absolutely love what they're doing. Dan Campbell's a great coach, but this Tampa team is hot, and this Tampa team is coming in to play a very, very, very questionable secondary when it comes to the Detroit Lions. Yeah. I feel like Baker Mayfield has something to prove. I mean, if you saw him pregame against the Philadelphia Eagles, he's doing smelling salts. I mean, how can you not bet against this guy? I mean, he's been cut from every single team. He was the number 1 pick. Talk shit on about. And
you're talking about Baker Mayfield. You said, how could you not bet against this guy? So you just threw your whole shit off, but it's cool.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
You got the notes for a reason right now.
When we're taking the Bucks money line and we come back next week, and this motherfucker's wearing the clown nose, we're gonna be talking about that.
Just to clarify, for the MONEYLINE Marsh followers, would you condone them? Would you tell them to take the points for the Bucks, or you just
No, absolutely not. We're gonna be we're gonna be pulling out the hammer for this one as well. we're gonna be putting this one down. MONEYLINE Marsh. Follow me on TikTok. We're posting this shit down. I'm slamming it down right now. Bucks money line.
I like your confidence, but that's just foolish, man. Put a little bit on the +6.5.
Absolutely not. This Lions team is done. Dan Campbell, Janet Goff, they're gonna have to go to Cancun. And this Bucks team that dominated the NFC South, dominated everything. They're gonna be coming and they'll be going to the NFC Championship playing the 49ers. And we'll see that pick. But the Lions are done, and we're going to be seeing a great game from Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And I'll also sprinkle a Rashad White anytime touchdown. He's been doing great. I think it's a demon on Prize Picks right now, so I would also hammer that as well. But that's my take on that, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to hammer it down, and we're going to be getting these 20 units back coming this divisional round.
I'm assuming you got the Lions, so
well, no, that's why I'm saying it's going to be.
Actually, I'm throwing the clown nose off because
hey, almost
we're done. I'm done. We're coming at it. Divisional round, we're getting this money back.
Yeah, you were sounding kind of stupid with it. It was about time to take it off.
So he hopped back on the spread. Is that what just happened?
No, I was money line.
Okay, sticking there. That's why I said for my pick, it's going to suck when we're hanging out together, enjoying the game, and I celebrate a nice Bucks cover, but not necessarily a Bucks win. I think this one comes down to it. I think it gets really close. I know I said that about a few games last week, and it did not turn out to be that way. But last week, I think, was a bit of an anomaly for playoff football. Threw one of those out there a little bit. A little SAT word, you know. But I'm sure I could. I don't want to think about it. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Bucks +6.5. If I can catch a 7 at any point before the week or before the game starts, we'll get to 7. I think Baker had a good run. It's been nice. They're going to make it electric. They're going to make it fun, but Dan Campbell is going to keep it electric. And I just think he outdoes them a little bit. Outdoes them, not does them, but
a little doozy. It's not going to be a doozy.
It will be a doozy.
I do agree that it's going to be a close game, but I think the Bucks win by like a field goal at the end.
Yeah.
I say I'm going to go ahead and lay down what I think here. I'm going to say Detroit wins by 2 in a weird last-second field goal situation, and I'm not going to overthink that one. I think Baker, he should be proud of what he's accomplished thus far. I don't think, obviously, reach for more, but it's done. It's done.
This is our first pick in the playoffs. We've actually agreed with each other.
Okay.
I would also Tampa +6.5 for sure. Put a lot on that, but I would definitely take them a little bit money line. I think they're going to come out of this one on top.
Nothing wrong with a sprinkle.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't ride my whole 2.5.
You're gonna put 2.5 units on it? I mean, come on.
Definitely not.
What are we doing here, guys?
But I do think that they definitely have a chance. I mean, spread for sure. I like that to be a low-scoring game. Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of a repeat of what happened last time. I think the last time they scored like 25 combined. I think it's going to be low-scoring. I mean, the Bucks defense isn't giving up points to anybody in the last like 4
I think the Bucks defense has the most momentum out of any side of the ball coming into this game after how they just played. Yeah. So, I mean, they
look stout. I mean, I get it. The Eagles didn't have A.J. Brown. They haven't looked good, but Devontae Smith had some big plays, and they stopped them when they needed to in the red zone.
Jalen Hurts shit his pants. I think that's fair to say. This guy's walking around with a dirty diaper.
Yeah, and he got shut down with the tush push. As soon as he got shut down with the tush push, I knew that it was over.
Yeah, no one was trying to push that dirty booty. That's just the truth.
So, well, hey, I guess we can watch that one together.
We'll all be on the Bucks. We'll have Bucks jerseys. I got a Mike Evans jersey.
2 of us will be on the spread. One will be on the money line if he holds true to himself. But
absolutely.
I'll have a little on the money. You're not taking any on the money line?
I'll sprinkle some money line. I'm just saying there's one guy in here who is not taking the points, which I don't advise to anyone.
That's true. If Detroit wins by 3, then we're going to be feeling good.
And I'll be over there.
Putting that clown nose back on.
Yeah, the clown nose will be going back on, and I'll be hammering this next game coming up.
For sure.
I think this next game that we're about to talk about is going to be the most electric game of the year, or at least I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
It's supposed to be cold as hell again, though.
Oh,
snowy. You know.
I mean, we got two absolute dogs behind the ball. So
this is a good one. I kind of want to go first on this one. I always go.
I
want to go first because I get kind of a take, and I don't want one of you guys to take it before me, and I kind of want to hear what y'all think about it. So I like Kansas City big time +3. I'm taking -2.5 +148 on FanDuel right now. I think the Chiefs win by a field goal. I don't see I mean, Mahomes.
Oh, you said the Chiefs win by a field
Chiefs
goal.
minus 2.5 is what I'm taking.
Okay, you're
It's
rocking.
sitting at +3 on FanDuel. I'm taking them 5 points better. Mahomes is 8-1-1 against the spread as an underdog. I understand that doesn't mean they're going to win by a field goal and that stat get messed up, but I think this is an easy one for not easy like they're going to blow them out, but I definitely think that it's never going to be like worrisome if you take the Chiefs here. I like Josh Allen under 232.5 passing yards. The first time they played, I think he had like 204. And he hasn't. I mean, he had a big game last week or 2 weeks ago, but
Yeah, he threw 204 last week, actually 203.
204. Okay, so maybe it was a week before. I don't see him getting a lot of yards against them. But yeah, Chiefs minus 2.5 alternate spread. I'd take that hammer if I had it, and I'd break this floor. I like the Chiefs big time.
Okay.
Yeah, going into it, I'm gonna absolutely agree. I'm done betting. I'm done betting against Mahomes. I mean, last week I had a big play on Miami +5. I went down 2 units on Miami. What a joke they are, by the way. Let's talk about that a little bit. But when it comes to Mahomes and the way that the passing, like the roughing the passer calls, I mean, he's gonna have his way, and I just feel like he has Josh Allen's number. I mean, if you compare that electric game 2 years ago when he only had 13 seconds, tied it, scored in overtime. I'm going to be laying down the +3. Okay. I'm going to be taking Kansas City +3. Okay. I don't feel too confident in the money line because this Bills team has caught an amazing stride going into the postseason. Probably one of the hottest teams that's still left besides the Houston Texans right now. I'm not going to overthink this one, but I will take Josh Allen over his rushing yards. I think it's about like 39.5 right now. Yeah. I'm going to take that over. I feel like, those defensive line, Kansas City's defense has been playing great.
Dude, they haven't given up more than 21 points. I would
also sprinkle a little bit on the under. These guys it's going to be a defensive battle and
keeping each other off the field
for sure. Yeah. And I feel like this game could come down to who's going to be punting better, who's going to have the field position, who's going to make that turnover. And Josh Allen unfortunately did not throw a pick last week, but he's always going to be due. He's a turnover machine, and I feel like that one turnover, it might be late in the third quarter, he throws a pick, and it sets up Kansas City great. They go down, get 7, take complete momentum for the game. So, yeah, I'm going to be laying down +3. Probably going to do 1 unit on it, +3. And
not crazy confident.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be taking +3 on Kansas City.
You mentioned it being a punting game. Do you know if the Bills punter is healthy? Because I saw he pulled his hamstring.
He was injured. He pulled a hammy, I think.
Yeah, so
do we know an update? Is he playing?
There's not going to be an update right now. There'll probably be an update in the next couple of days, but I mean that also plays into my decision as well. Kansas City has great special teams, and it played a big role in that Miami game where they put Tua down there at the 10-yard line a couple times, and they just, I mean, with that kind of offense going into the cold, I mean, that was almost the game.
Defense having all
that was almost the game right there. So I'm gonna be laying down +3 and be putting 1 unit down.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say, on the record, I need to let this be known. I was on KC +3, but we already did this once. We just agreed on everything, and for the sake of my record, because I know these guys are a bunch of fucking bozos, I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna switch this to Buffalo -2.5, hoping I can get that. If I have to take 3, I'll take 3. I was on KC, but I'm not gonna sit there and watch this game on the same side of these guys. I've seen it too many times before. I was expecting a little regression. I mean, Josh Allen didn't do nothing too crazy last week other than that beast mode run he took, which was wonderful to watch. You get emotional about those type of things almost. But I'm gonna stick with Buffalo, or not even stick with. I'm gonna switch over to Buffalo and root this. I even said here in my notes, I said, although I want the Bills to win, I do see this being close. I do believe it'll be close, but now I just believe it's going to be 3 or better in the Bills' favor, and I like being on this side of the fence with you guys over there. Bunch of fucking chihuahuas.
I mean, I'd like to be anywhere other than with him.
Hey, you're right there. You're right there with him.
Yeah, we're kind of agreeing this week.
We agreed on all 4.
You're toast.
Hey, man, you might go 4-0 this week. I'll give it to you. Good picks.
And mind you,
I expect you to come with some bullshit, and you came with some good picks today. I'll give that to you.
Nick was definitely 5-1 last week, so keep that in mind when you tail his bets. Just keep it in mind.
He's due for a couple of losses, so we might buy 2 clown noses next week.
Yeah, you might have to. But also, if you look at in the playoffs in the last 180 games, I think I saw the stat today, team underdogs that are +10 are 107-60. against the spread in the playoffs. So like plus 10.
Yeah.
And so Houston being plus 9.5, I like that a lot. But I obviously 107 and 60, one of them's going to lose, and so that's why
I think the only way, I am on the Ravens, but unless C.J. Stroud is forced to make a few mistakes, I think I'm in dangerous water. But that's a risk I'm willing to take right now.
For sure.
Yeah, and the Ravens are just also, I feel like over the years they have had a lot of big spreads too, kind of like the Chiefs have, because their ability to just run through people, and a lot of times they don't. They win by touchdowns comfortably. They run the clock out a lot in the second half.
I think clock management is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Another thing I don't necessarily like too much is the fact that C.J. Stroud playing for Ohio State was in, as far as being inside of that moment, there's not many stadiums in the NFL, if any, that hold more than Ohio State Stadium.
Yeah.
I think that it's over 100,000. So anywhere he goes, the moment will never be too big for him. The more I talk about this, the more I do not like my pick. But I'm staying where I'm at. I'm keeping my feet in the mud.
Yeah, I remember when they played Georgia in the playoff that year, but his senior year.
I had 10 units on Georgia minus 6.5.
Of course you did.
Got absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
Hey, we won the ball game though.
Yeah, they did by like 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was by 1. 42. It was a missed field goal, and then when they missed it went into the new year. Yeah. As the ball dropped when he missed it. Yeah, I remember, it was crazy.
Yeah, I do remember that. And so from that moment, I didn't really watch Ohio State a lot that year, and that was like the beginning of Georgia's dynasty, and him showing up and playing good like that. We should have all known this dude could play. I definitely didn't think he was going to be that good this year. Didn't think it was going to be bad necessarily, but nothing like what he's done.
Absolutely not. DeMeco Ryans has done an amazing job over there for his first year. And also, I think with Gerard Mayo getting hired for the New England Patriots, I think that's going to kind of be a same scenario next year going with New England. Someone that's played linebacker from them before. Same kind of scenario with DeMeco Ryans. So look out for the Patriots next year.
What's going on
up
there in Detroit as well? Their head coach was on the 0-16 Lions team. So
so
a lot of that going on right now. I'm curious who's even going to be the Patriots quarterback next year. Mac Jones needs to get packed up and sent to Japan.
Somebody.
What?
You don't like Zappy? What's wrong with him?
He's done, buddy.
I think he's a solid backup quarterback. He
Turnover machine.
Yeah, any guy with
too much footage on him, and you can read him like a children's book.
Any guy with the first name Bailey. I just feel like putting an NFL quarterback, it's just not.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Well,
yeah.
And another quick tip for Mike McDaniels and the Dolphins. For future reference, maybe do training camp in Alaska. I think that's about that time to start working on that.
Team was. I was thinking about it yesterday. Tua is notorious for playing bad in cold weather.
0-4.
Yet their division is the Jets, the Buffalo, and the Patriots, which is all outside in the cold. So they play there 3 times a year. So
I wonder what's their conference record.
It's got to be bad.
Division record.
Yeah, you would think they would practice.
That was an absolute asshat bet of the week. We're gonna put that as the number 1 asshat bet of the week for me.
So now, before we get out of here, let's check out some player props. What do you guys got?
All right, I'm gonna do a quick rundown for Houston and Baltimore. I'm gonna go ahead and go Dalton Schultz over 36.5 receiving yards. Not gonna overthink that one too much. He had actually. I believe it was 2 drops last week that were both north of 15 yards each. Mm-hmm. I think he'll make up for that. I think he'll get back out there and make up for that. So I'll stick right there.
Playing into that Houston plus 9.5. I like that. Maybe you should switch that pick.
There's going to be – he's not going to throw for 20 yards. He's going to throw the ball, and he's going to be successful. And I'm just saying I'm not sure if he'll finish drives where he wants to.
That's fair.
I'm expecting a lot of 3s, not 7s.
Okay.
Anyone want to, or should I just run through this real quick?
Yeah,
run through them all?
Give us all
right. Green Bay, San Francisco. I'm going to go Jordan Love. It's a real low one, but this is one of those. I like to stay where you were on that. With the quarterback, it's either going to hit or it's not. This can happen in one run. Jordan Love over 6.5 rushing yards. He doesn't do that too much, but if he does, I think he'll get a few yards.
Like a little 3rd and 8 action to where the pocket collapses, he goes, picks it up, boom, it's covered.
Yeah. And then Tampa Bay.
I like that shit.
I love it, man. I've hit on the past 3. That's the only thing that I can fucking predict correctly.
They're good bets to watch hit, that's for sure. Yeah. Tampa Bay and Detroit, I'm going to go St. Brown for under 89.5 receiving yards.
Wow.
I know I think they're going to have to take it elsewhere. I think Laporta has him a great game. He did have a touchdown last week, but not too many touches. So I'm going to bank on the other people getting a few more touches. Jameson getting back active. He wasn't really a factor last week, so I'll stay on that. KC Buffalo, I'm going to go Patty Mahomes anytime touchdown. And that's it. That's it for me.
Anytime rushing or passing?
It'd be rushing.
Rushing,
Okay,
rushing
say,
touchdown.
okay.
Yeah.
That's plus money.
Yeah, it's gonna. I didn't check the odds on that. I mean, I'm sure it'll be anywhere from. It'll be north of 180, maybe north of 250. I don't know. I mean,
I think for sure.
we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see. But take it if you see it.
Is it passing 1.5? I think that's what I said.
It'll be 1.5. Yeah.
1.5. Yeah.
All right, for me, I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm just going to give you guys a 4 touchdown prop for the entire game.
Yeah, it went so well last week. Give us another one.
So you're going one parlay.
Yeah, one parlay, 4 anytime touchdown. I'm going to stick with this one with the Kansas City Buffalo game. I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown. He's going to be an absolute force. This game's going to be on the ground. It's going to be decided in between the tackles. I feel like Pacheco could break one for like 8 to 10 yards from the goal line. So I'm going to take Pacheco anytime touchdown. I am going to be taking CJ Stroud anytime touchdown. I feel like they're going to get down to the 1 yard line. He's going to rush it in. Even though that I'm all over the plus 9.5, I want him to air it out. I want him to kind of connect with Nico Collins, Tank Bell. But I feel like I just have a weird kind of feeling that he's going to be able to get that rushing touchdown either on a QB sneak or like a little 5 yard third and goal kind of thing. Kind of weird, I know, but I absolutely love it. And then for my third pick, it's going to be in the Tampa Bay Detroit game. I'm going to take Laporta for an anytime touchdown. He's been kind of a Jared Goff favorite coming out down in the red zone. I could just see him kind of slanting over the middle, catch him in the back right where the goalpost is. We'll take any touchdown on that. And then obviously for the Packers game, I can't stray away from a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. I know it's minus money, but it's kind of free money at this point. So that's going to be my 14 parlay for touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Hope it hits. Guess we'll see. You going to tail that?
I'm not tailing any of that. I got lost in my own world a little bit, and I was just thinking about it. For anyone out there that doesn't really like sports, if you ever come across this and you're just looking for something to do, you're super bored, if you've gotten to this point, which I don't know why you would, drinking game. Every time he says absolutely, take a shot. I think you'll have a great time. But that's just that's where I went right there. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good.
Lead us home.
Yeah. Well, with that, man, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for listening to the Spread Detectives podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe at the bottom of the video. And let's get the hell out of here, man. Let's have a good weekend.
Let's go. Let's ride.
Let's fucking sweep it.